right now here at number 53. And here's a familiar face and voice to make the announcement.
Wow.
Look out, everybody. Here comes McAfee.
They said yins are getting soft. Yins are getting tired. Are you Yinzers getting exhausted from so much football celebration or no? 0 arrests last night in the NFL draft compound. Pittsburgh Yinzers, congratulations. Now, the Indianapolis Colts first-round draft pick was Sauce Gardner, and he's better than all of your first-round picks for sure. The Indianapolis Colts have not won the AFC South in 12 years. That changes this year. Jim Irsay from the football heavens cured Daniel Jones's torn Achilles. Michael Pittman got sent to the Steelers, and in return, we got football gods. With the 53rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the AFC South Kings, Indianapolis Colts select C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. Go Dogs. Have a great night. Cheers.
C.J. Allen, a consensus All-American, still young, just turned 21 last month, but he started 30 games over 3 years and led the Bulldogs in tackles last year.
28 on my big board. He's one of the top off-ball linebackers in this draft. They'll be playing every down. He can do it. 6'1", 230, ran 4.47 at his pro day. Look at that guy, led the Bulldogs in tackles with 88. Also had 8 tackles for loss. He's been there since day one. He's a veteran. This is the collegiate awards. He's going to come in, he's going to play the run aggressively. He's going to be a guy who can jump on the ball and go sideline to sideline, quick to shed and avoid. I know Lord Stark's going to be a little stiff. The bottom line is he's developed into a really good blitzer, had 1 sack his first 2 seasons. He had 3.5 sacks this past year. Sound tackler, leaves a lasting impression when he hits you. You know C.J. Allen's on the field. And a character, 1 to 10, 15 for C.J. Allen.
Here's the thing I would say about C.J. Allen. Very few rookies come in and can be the green dot and call the defense. He's been a guy in Kirby Smart's defense from day one. He's understood. He's been a leader of that defense. He's a coach on the field. He could call the defense from day one, and I get it. There's a little bit of tightness in the hip, but he's an instinctive player. What he lacks in the athletic ability, he can make up with smarts and instinct. He did it for Kirby Smart at the highest level in the SEC, and I think he can do it for the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, there's no question. Look, Indianapolis needed some speed and playmaking ability for Lou Anarumo and his defense. They were devoid of...
Will be announced by Western Pennsylvania and Jets legend, the Hall of Famer Curtis Martin.
Listen, I grew up in a little town not too far from here called Homewood. And so I just want to take a brief moment to thank many of you in this crowd tonight, but the entire city of Pittsburgh for all of the love and support that you've given me throughout my career. Thank you. Now with the 50th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select D'Angelo Pons, DB from Indiana.
That is a fascinating pick, Mel, because I've had many people say D'Angelo Pons reminds them a lot of Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn, of course, is the head coach of the New York Jets, and now Lou is the head coach of D'Angelo Pons.
Yeah, you think Aaron Glenn wasn't the loudest man in the draft room? We talked about how in the second round, right, there's always some kind of glitch in the matrix that pushes these guys into the second round. The only thing that puts D'Angelo Pons in the second round is the fact that he's only 5'0", If this man was 6 foot, he would have been a first rounder, and he would have been vying for being the best cornerback in this draft. Because the only thing that you see him get into trouble with is this: size on the edge against the run. He will get swallowed up sometimes by bigger wide receivers who stalk blocks, and then finishing the last third of the down against bigger wide receivers, where maybe like a guy like Jeremiah Smith, who gave him some issues at the catch point when he played against Ohio State. that's where some of his shortcomings come up. But other than that, speed, quickness, press man, off man, zone, man trail. I mean, he can do it all, and Curt Cignetti loves him. The kid can fly, he can do it all.
He came from JMU with Coach Cignetti and became one of those James Madison Dukes who really teed what Indiana was able to do.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Ponce, you know about studying a culture at Indiana. He did that on the defensive side. You know about that team didn't intercept the pass last year, right? D'Angelo Ponce will change that. He limited the missed tackles this year. He was outstanding. He got that pick six against Dante Moore. First offensive snap of the game. Got the momentum right away in their favor. It's Miami in the national championship game. He had 3 half breakups in that game. This kid had a 43.5 vertical jump. Your point, guys, if it wasn't for the size, kid played like a first rounder.
No question about it. There's absolutely, and here's the thing. This young man played 660 plus snaps at corner and only played 6 snaps in the slot. So they never had any reservations about putting him outside on the Autobahn in the fast lane. They may move him inside here in New York. Regardless, he's going to play, and he's going to play a lot.
One of the most infamous statistics in the NFL last year, of course, the New York Jets had 0 interceptions, so obviously this was an area of significant need. Ponce had 2 picks last year, by the way, including a pick 6 in that playoff game against Oregon. All right, the Vikings are up, and their pick is in. Caleb Banks was their selection in round 1 last night. And this is a pick that has changed hands a few times, but at pick number 1, or 51, I should say, the Vikings making their selection.
Skol Vikes. With the 51st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Jake Golday, linebacker, Cincinnati. Welcome, brother.
You love these stories. Jake Golday was unranked coming out of high school. Started his career at Central Arkansas as a defensive end, wound up first team all Big 12 last year.
What did Jack Campbell have when Detroit Lions drafted him out of Iowa? He had the length, he had the size, he had the height. Inside linebackers, off-ball linebackers can be really disruptive when they're like Jake Golday, who's 6'4 and a half, 239 pounds at a 39 vertical. He will affect the passing game in that way. Cover the athleticism, all 3 phases. It's a run in coverage, it's a blitzer. He gets after it as well. He can slip, he can shed blocks. He was a really good player. Look about this past year, 105 tackles for the Bearcats, 6 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and broke up 3 passes. Kid was all over the field. And they moved him around in that defense, Bud.
And here's the thing I'll say about him. He's best coming forward. He needs to be coming down toward the line of scrimmage. He doesn't need to be back in space. You don't need him back in coverage. You don't need him trying to figure out what routes are running. You need him attacking the ball. As long as they can have him do that, he'll make a ton of plays for him.
Yeah, that's where you maybe have some concerns about him. Is on 3rd down, what is his value going to be as a coverage player? And can he learn to rush the passer if he can't cover?
The Vikings gave up 124 yards rushing a game last year. Now Caleb Banks and Golday